comes first, obviously.
Jacqueline Melnick is a senior fellow at the American Immigration Council, a liberal immigration group.
Trump would have to do more than quadruple current ICE removals of people arrested in the interior just to hit the levels that we've seen previously under Obama.
I think that you take a sequential approach to it. You start with what's achievable. Let's start with 1 million.
The details of the plan are still being worked out.
He's right. That's the right way to go about it.
But let's say Trump does decide to deport 1 million people a year. That could still cost about $88 billion annually and take 11 years, according to one estimate. And that's assuming 20% of people would leave on their own.
Yes, it's expensive, but the trade-offs, I think, are well worth it.
Ron Vitello led
the... I think that if you interviewed the majority of people that are like Trump supporters, I think that they would overwhelmingly support that. I mean, I'm just making this up, right? But like, if like this is like my temperature check, I think that almost all of them would support that, even if the cost was astronomical.
The Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, known as ICE, for a year in Trump's first term.
Right now, the government is underfunded for its ability to detain people. To be able to accomplish this and the border mission simultaneously will require a reallocation, if not an infusion for resources.
Other immigration experts say the actual cost of Trump's mass deportation plan will be much lower than the American Immigration Council's estimate of $315 billion.
A more robust enforcement like...
Well, it would be logical that their interpretation of how much it would cost would be higher, because they're probably in favor of some degree of illegal immigration if they're like a liberal mindset. I think that that's generally how like the party lines are for like these different topics. So it would logically make sense that they would come up with a higher number, because a higher number would make the plan seem less feasible. So I wouldn't necessarily trust that number to begin with.
Administration is contemplating may create significant economies of scale.
Stephen Camarata is the director of research at the Center for Immigration Studies, a group favoring immigration restrictions that helped staff Trump's first term.
Once you start doing it and you get an infrastructure in place, then it might be a lot cheaper.
Deportation starts with arrest.
He brings up a good point that like a lot of it is getting the system started and the cost of doing that. And like that system start cost is like kind of a fixed cost that's like amortized across all of the amount of effort that's going to be put into it.
Targeted arrest. We'll know who we're going to arrest, where we're most likely to find them based on numerous investigative processes.
We're starting with the criminals, and we got to do it. And then we're starting with others.
Trump says dreamers, or people who entered the U.S. illegally as children, might be an exception. To make arrests, ICE officers would either identify someone who's already in a jail or prison, or go to a person's home.
Yeah, of course. The majority of undocumented immigrants are not in law enforcement custody. Most of them have never committed any offenses.
Arresting people out in the community, known as at-large arrests, isn't a common tactic for ICE. Vitello says it's more...
I think that's what people want to change, because they don't think that it's proactive enough. Yeah, why are these super-ranking guys so stupid? I don't think they're stupid. Yeah. They committed an offense when they came here illegally. Well, what he's saying is that they never got arrested by the police.
More logistically complicated and more expensive, but it's at the center of the Trump administration.
Because like the police have like this, it's stupid, right? But the police, there are like the known illegals and the unknown illegals, where it's like by the nature of some people entering the country illegally, they are in fact undocumented. So it's hard to quantify how many people there are. And so you have that factor, but there's also people that they do have a number and like, yeah, this person is here illegally, and there's like a process for getting rid of them. So like it's both things.
I'm not concerned that they won't be able to find them. It's just a matter of time, given the circumstances, given the availability of information, and given the resources in play.
At-large arrests often require multiple federal agents and take several days because ICE officers don't generally have warrants.
Immigration violations are not criminal, which means that a judicial warrant to arrest them would not have probable cause. They might have to wait hours for the person to leave their house. They might have to stake out a work site.
To carry out arrests at this scale,
Spawn
the
camp.
American Immigration
Yeah.
Council estimates ICE would need to hire over 30,000 new law enforcement agents and staff, making it the largest law enforcement agency in the federal government.
That's a lot.
Vitello says this number is overstated, and that state and local law enforcement could be directed via task forces to help with at-large arrests.
I think a lot of people would sign up to do it too. Yeah, I do. I actually think that a lot of the media vastly underestimates how many people just want to get the illegal immigrants out of the fucking country. I don't think that they really care if you're a dreamer, if you're, you know, a criminal. I don't think that most people really give a shit at this point. I think maybe if you looked at this issue in 2020 or like 2016, people probably did care more, or at least they pretended to care. I think now they don't. Yeah, get them out. Yeah, get them out. That's it. Literal Nazis. I don't think deporting people for being in a country illegally is being a Nazi. I think that you do a disservice to actual Nazis by comparing the two things. You're making them seem like this is like just a difference of opinion. It's the opposite of Nazi. Yeah, it's very, very dangerous. You shouldn't be saying that.
they already do.
Having that referral system, having state and locals help ICE officers do their job.
Somebody says, what are they going to do? Who are they going to blame their problems on when brown people are gone? Ask Kanye West.
Better to have it than not, but not definitive in whether they do the work or not.
Then there's detention, the most expensive part of the whole process. It costs
Back to
around
the
$200
old
a day to
faithful
hold
call.
someone in ICE custody. Congress has provided enough funding for at least
Yeah.
41,500 detention beds in fiscal year 2025. But that's not nearly enough to detain 1 million people a year.
People say such childlike thinking. You realize like Jews have been scapegoated by like, what is it, 109 countries have like expelled Jews? Like you can say it's childlike thinking, but like, yeah, no, that's what's going to happen. After they get rid of the illegals, they're going to blame everything on the Jews. They're already doing it. That's what's going to happen.
According to the American Immigration Council, ICE would need to construct 216 soft-sided facilities every year for
Damn.
11 years.
That's a lot.
Soft-sided facilities are temporary tent-like structures that have typically been used near the border.
Yeah.
Anyone not physically detained would be placed on electronic surveillance, which costs approximately $4 per person per day. Private contractors involved in every stage of the detention process could drive up prices even more.
Contractors drive people in between ICE detention centers
Yeah.
or drive the vans after somebody's arrested.
Detaining children would also make this process more expensive.
I don't want to be breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together and you have to send them all back.
Family
Oh man. Oh boy. Wild? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. As I said, I think this issue and the amount, like the level of radicalization people have displayed on this issue, I think is really indicative of what's to come. I think it is. I'm not mad. Bye-bye. Yeah, I actually think that like if you go and you read the comments on this, let me see what the $2 trillion spent in Afghanistan. How does it cost $200 to keep somebody in a cage? This will be a huge cash grab for private contractors. Why does Trump need any funding at all? Let the employers who break federal law pay for it. The government's not overfunded, it's overspending. Imagine creating a problem so big it'll be too expensive to fix. Almost all of these comments are agreeing. They're almost all positive.
detention is the most expensive kind of detention because the U.S. government is required to give people minimum standards, and those children need to have child welfare professionals on site. They need to have pediatricians on site. There needs to be a provision for them to get schooling if they are going to be held for months or potentially years at a time.
Vitello says one way the government could reduce costs is by repurposing existing...
I've got a feeling that there are a lot of people out there that don't think that's as important as he does. I've got a feeling. Yep.
detention centers like Guantanamo Bay.
A third country like a Panama, potentially Mexico, could agree to hold third country nationals so that their due process could be adjudicated, thereby lowering the costs and kind of sending a message down the pipeline that people are not going to be released in the United States to await those adjudications. That alone will reduce the number of individuals trying to cross the border illegally.
Camerata says there are
Tomorrow,
over a
no
million
plan is probably
immigrants who
working
could be
later
detained
on,
at a
though.
much lower cost.
There are people with
Okay,
final
night to
order
make
of
some
removal
money.
that we just never made legal. Those individuals shouldn't have to be held long. We can get them out.
That's obviously what they're gonna do. They're gonna. It's obviously you go for the low-hanging fruit. I mean,
I'm down with it.
duh. It's the same with anything, right?
Yeah. Fuck
After
yeah.
detention comes legal processing, which immigration law experts say is the biggest bottleneck in the mass deportation process. An additional
we can show 'em my
10.6
house,
million
too.
cases would require nearly 2,000 more immigration judges and over 1,100 more courtrooms.
There
You
is
have to
not
be
only a
outside,
cost on the
especially if it's cold
immigration
tomorrow or
court
something.
side, but there's also a cost in the ICE side in getting these new prosecutors online. You need support staff for the judges, judicial law clerks,
Yeah.
For
secretaries.
sure.
Staffing on
I don't think that a lot of people care about that as much, and I think that they'll probably
running
end up
good.
skipping a
I
lot of
put
that, and nobody's
91
gonna give a shit.
After I did the DI clean.
Yeah, they will waive that away. Yeah, they just
it's
won't do
been
it.
running on 91. It's pretty good. I
And
need
this
to change
is
my spark plug.
effectively
It's a little
a
rough
really
on
good
the
example
idle,
of this happening
that's
was
overdue.
El
I've had to
Salvador.
do it for like
My
10,000
understanding,
miles.
and I apologize in advance if I'm misunderstanding this, but that's my understanding of how Bukele, I don't know how to say his name, dealt with this problem. Is that he basically like waived a lot of those rights for the people that were like committing crimes and put them all in jail.
Yeah.
both sides leads each case to cost over $2,500.
See how my gas
To set up
mileage
new
is. if
courtrooms
it's
quickly,
how
the
much more I'm
government
gonna
would
be
likely
paying for
construct
gas.
tent courts, like those built in 2019 to implement the migrant protection protocols. This was when immigrants living in the U.S. illegally were returned to Mexico to wait for the duration of their court
I put
proceedings.
OW20
They went to
back in my
tent
car
courts
too,
near
just
the
because it's been
border
like
to
colder.
virtually appear
I figured,
in front
you know,
of judges.
You could do those hearings much
the next couple
faster,
months are going to be a little bit colder,
logistically
so
get
maybe the
more
next oil
judges
change
and
I'll
more hearings
switch to
heard in a day.
As with
W30.
finding new efficiencies in detention space, that is another thing that has its limits.
Tent-style courtrooms in Laredo, Texas, cost
Sorry about
about $16 million to build and $143 million annually.
This is my opinion about
Lisa
this.
Berry. Check out your Twitter. What is your channel? Had custom design overlay just like the way you want them.
So when I see
I mean, do you
numbers
see
like
my
this,
overlay?
and I'm being
That's the way I
told, like,
wanted it.
this isn't possible,
Fuck out of my goddamn chat.
How
Banned.
many $1 billion are we spending on like foreign aid to random fucking countries? Stop doing that. Just stop it. Unless we're like legally obligated through NATO or something, stop doing it. Yeah, it's rookie numbers. Yeah, trillions of dollars. Yeah, what are we talking about here? And I think this is a viewpoint that I actually think most people have. I think most people view it as wasteful.
To operate. Once a person receives a final removal order, they have to either report for deportation at a later date or wait in detention until then.
At that point, the U.S. government has to actually arrange the removal. That would involve putting them on a bus and sending them to Mexico, but if they're from any other country other
Put
than
them on
Canada,
airplane.
that means putting them on a plane and flying them to their ultimate destination.
An operation of this scale could require over 6,000 removal flights per year.
Yep.
For comparison, ICE had around 1,200 removal flights in fiscal year 2023. The average ICE removal flight costs about $17,000 per hour. This number could go up if private contractors who provide ICE with planes and pilots raise their prices.
But there are other assets, right? ICE has
I do think also the government should try to recoup these costs by fining the companies that have been hiring these people. Because, like, really it takes two to tango. And in a lot of cases, the reason why these people exist in the United States and they're basically just, like, you know, able to, like, make money is because companies and individuals pay them under the table. And so, like, really, who should be paying for this? Well, it should be the companies that willingly hire people and knowingly hire people that are here illegally. It's that simple. NATO's obsolete. Well, I mean, personally, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think NATO's important, but that's, again, it's not really the issue. I don't want to debate that. You know, everybody's going to have different viewpoints. That's whatever, right? It's totally different. But I do think, yeah, you should find, and also find the individual immigrants. Yeah, you're right. Like if they have bank accounts and like they have money here, get that money. Absolutely. Fuck that. Yeah, if they're coming here, spending, making money here illegally, then get that money too. It's not even a question.
Number of its own aircraft that are already
yeah.
in service today. The Justice Department, the Marshal Service, has their own transportation
the money,
aircraft.
yeah.
The scale-up need could come from the military.
Trump told NBC News in November that there is no price tag for his plan. Camerata
Yeah,
says
I think that's what people want, or at least like the ones that agree with him, right? There's people who think this is bad, but like the ones that agree with him, I don't think that they care about the price.
cost will likely be spread out over several years because
Yeah.
it would be impractical to deport even 1 million people a year, let alone all 13 million in a single one-time operation.
In this case, it's probably hyperbole. What I think he's trying to do is tell everyone, when I take over, the immigration law is going to be back in business. And I think it's going to have a big effect. And then it's going to be up to the public to judge whether he kept his word.
But getting enough funding from Congress will be crucial for an operation of this.
I think what's going to happen is that he is probably going to get like maybe 20% or 30% of them. And it's probably going to be a lot of the problem people. And then the rest of them probably, it depends on what happens, like who gets elected after Trump, right? And so like if somebody like Trump gets reelected again, then you'll see more of them get deported. If they don't, then you won't see more of them get deported, right? I think it's really just that simple. Yeah, cost of keeping them a year is more, cheaper to send them home. It's a vital point being ignored. Oh yeah, no doubt, but you have to keep them here because they, like you have to figure out like legally whether they're here like illegally or not, right? You can't just like shoot first and ask questions later. Like you go deport them and then you figure out whether you should have deported them or not. Seems like kind of a problem. Third term, let's go. I mean, we'll see what happens, right? I mean, there's a chance that, the Trump presidency shits the bed and it's a huge problem. And then, we have some bad situation happen. Who knows what happens? And then, there's like no way a Republican wins in 2028. Yeah, it will be. Well, I'm saying like it's very possible that this could happen.
Magnitude. Senate Republicans have said that passing a border funding bill will be the top priority next year.
Border security, more bed spaces so you don't have to release people that shouldn't be released, and more ICE agents to deport people who represent a threat to our country and shouldn't be here to begin with.
Republicans control both chambers of Congress next term, but it's a narrow majority, making spending on this scale no guarantee.
To my Democratic friends, I think if you resist rational deportation policy, you do so at your own peril.
I actually think he's right. And I think that what he said isn't actually accurate entirely, or it's not telling the full picture. I think that if you resist rational deportation policy, you will then get irrational deportation policy. And I think that like that's really where things are going. And that's what I think is going to happen. Only the rich stem swell? Well, I don't know, but I think that's what it is. And that's why I think a lot of people are so extreme about it now, is that I think people are tired of being called like like somebody said, like, it's like you're a Nazi, right? For like wanting to deport an illegal immigrant. I think that like somebody hears that and they're like, I don't want to be called a Nazi. That's stupid. And so I'm just going to vote against you, right? I don't think people like that type of emotional blackmail. And it's what really causes a lot of people to push back on it. So, yeah. I have a feeling. What's this? Is deport the Democrats? Problem solved. Yeah, there we go. And where's the rationality in sending your country into a depression? Because that's what's going to happen. Finance have worked out the numbers again and again. I don't think that I feel like if you have a country that requires a indentured servant slave class in order to exist, you need to figure out a better way of doing business and running an economy. That's really the truth. I mean, I don't think that that's a good thing. And this has been, it's kind of like the same perspective that I have with like the HB1 visas, is that if you rely on an underclass of people that have less protections, less rights, and are being paid less money, and the entire premise of the business model is built around taking advantage of that, what you have is a fundamentally predatory economy. And I don't think that that is a morally good thing. I don't think it's good at all in any capacity. So Yeah, that's what I think about it. I mean, I don't really think that's a good argument. I think it's actually a very bad argument. And also, like, and this is something that's like not really discussed a lot, is that a lot of the people who are illegal immigrants, they get taken advantage of in a lot of big ways. And, you know, it's like if they get shortchanged, they don't get paid enough money, you know, they're not being paid fairly.
Let's not finish quickly. Where's the fun in that?
Yeah. So, we're in a massive, there's like a massive power imbalance there. And I think that that's something that a lot of people need to realize. They can't get proper medical treatment. Yeah, exactly. Right? But they can get charged too. Yeah, no doubt.
This is your champion.
No more rights.
Everyone's got a place in the games, but I've got first place.
So,
I'll be leading the charge on this jump.
Like no more rights.
I got you back. Let's charge.
First blood.
Some eager beaver got first blood.
Extended energy mag here. Level 3.
Been looking for that.
Round 1. Beginning ring countdown.
All of us aren't in the ring. Get it together. Extended light mag here. Level 1. Extended heavy mag here. Level 2.
Use that. Thank you.
Anytime. Optics here. Close range.
Evo
Optics here.
harvesters
Mid
are
range.
online.
I bloody want it.
Thanks.
Ah, me. Sweet fix. Crafting. Do not bloody disturb. Thank you. Extra supplies here. Since your mum ain't here to kiss it, optics here. Mid-range.
I'll lead it. Barrel stabilizer here. Level 3.
Marvelous news. We're in the next ring. Optics here. Close range.
Newcastle's ultimate's ready. They're not. Extra supplies here. Remember to share, y'all. Medkit here.
Enemy here.
Delivering care package.
Care package on its way. Sweet as.
Huh. Just got an upgrade. Guess Newcastle just leveled up. Got an upgrade. Getting more super by the day.
Optics here. Close range.
I need a shotgun bolt.
Attention. There is a new kill leader.
Shotgun bolt here. Level 2. New kill leader. Eyes out bomb.
Optics here. Sniper. Shield cell here. Shield cell. Shield cell here.
Extra supplies here. Loadout still here. Level 2.
Champion eliminated. No one raised for. I'll use that.
I need a standard stock. Target spotted.
We're gonna get scanned off this beacon right here. There's a path on it. I'm gonna shoot him.
For you. Standard stock here, level 2.
Got it. Reloaded. Thanks.
Oh, you know me. I'm all about being more humble.
Dinged an enemy. Dinged an
Why
enemy.
are you shooting me?
You killed me.
Listen up, I'm getting shot at.
Reloading. Recharging my shield.
Reloaded. Take off. You're picking up. Hey, Doc, come back. Recharging my shields.
Half the squads are left. Fellas know the drill.
I'm not gonna win a fight against a Senny with my flatline.
Line up. Movement. Enemy there.
Should we rotate to that door? There might be people, but I hate sitting like in this corner. There's no cover.
Let's go.
Round 2. Beginning ring countdown.
Got quite the trip to the ring. Let's move.
There's a rampart on me.
Gonna drill some sense into you. I know this, guys. Replicator incoming. Being shot at. Down!
Doc, stay with me. And keep the healing coming.
Let me in, you asshole! What the fuck? What the fuck, dude?
With this big old battery.
What the fuck? Holy fuck. What the fuck?
Gotta hop up here. Boosted loader.
This upgrade should help.
Shield battery here.
What the actual fuck, man? That moved so hard.
Time to destroy more opponents.
This is your champion.
In case you didn't know, you get here by winning. Good luck. I'm the jump master. No pressure, me. Hold your breath if you have to breathe. Making contact with enemy. I'm looting over there. Wish me luck.
Hit my decoy.
Yo, cracked an enemy shield. Reloading. Arc star.
Yeah, wrap that way, path.
Fire in the hole. Rings close. 1 more minute.
Fucking game giving me P20s in a car. Like, what the fuck?
After that.
45 seconds. Rings not too
Attention.
far. I'm okay with that.
Evo harvesters are online.
Bam! There goes the blue gold turret. Something like that. Reloading. Pay attention. My ultimate's ready to rock. New kill leader. Go off. Woohoo! That's gonna kick!
Shit.
I am taking fire, friends.
Go bamboo!
Reloading.
Other team's shooting up here.
They're on me.
Bad guys, let's do it! Bad guys horsing around there. Yo, crack an enemy shield. Woohoo! That's gonna kick!
No, one of them's almost knocked.
Using grapple.
Shield.
Oh, fuck. I knocked one. He's right here.
Oh, fuck.
Your energy will return to the atmosphere.
I didn't know
Hey,
if there was.
maybe that's what goes
I thought there
down.
was 2 down for some reason.
The championship is ours.
This is your champion.
Check yourself or wreck yourself.
I got your back. Let's talk.
You're coming with me, Doc.
Optics here. Optics here. Close range.
Team de landat zaten wij.
Attention. First blood.
Extended heavy mag here. Level 3.
I could use that. Here I go.
Knockdown shield here.
Beginning ring countdown.
Look at the map. The next ring is far. Optics here. Close range.
Thank you.
Oh, it's closing on us in a minute. Being targeted.
Hit me. Opening fire on the enemy.
Charge my shield.
I need shields.
Let's go ahead.
Giving my shields a recharge.
I got you. Here comes your protector. I'm down.
Almost knocked the Newcastle.
Yeah, I can't see.
Oh, everybody's so fucking shit today.
I'm not just about explosions. I also know about stuff. Like winning.
Introducing your champion.
You're in contact. You better finish the job.
That's where we're landing.
Sí, por favor. I don't think so. No. I hear ya.
Land there.
We should
Man,
land there.
I miss my
Never
waka.
mind.
You
I hear
bloody
ya.
owes me.
that was crazy. That was. That,
First blood, and it's not us. Wonderful. Here I go. Beginning ring countdown.
Mira, found shotgun ammo. Mira, sentinel over here. Shake a leg. We've only got a minute, and the ring's right there.
Very close. 45 seconds.
Let's go. Phoenix kit here. Oh, that's got a kick.
Evo Hub to here.
Sorry, hermano, no.
Extended energy mag here. Level 3.
I can see that the ring's moving on the map.
Shotgun bolt here. Level 2. Backpack here. Level 2.
I leveled up. Ooh, say that for me. This upgrade is gonna give me a serious leg up.
We spread out.
Yeah! Ready, set, go!
Care package delivered.
Care package, sweet.
Champion eliminated.
Champion out. Master shotgun here. Just spotted someone out there. Go faster!
Optic here. Mid-range. Dropships arriving.
Zipline deployed.
Rápido!
Grappling.
Let's go over there.
New kill leader appointed.
New kill leader. Huh. Not for long, pal. Anytime.
Healing up. Getting a bit of hope.
I love it.
Here I go. I'll join you. Rapid transit is fun.
Gotta introduce some eggs to their graves. Healing. I don't want to see everything that's last night.
Enemy spotted. Way out there.
I got scanned up there.
At us. Go faster! Mira, we should check that out.
I have my pad. Never mind, they're on our heads already.
Eat thermites.
Careful.
Watch out for the new kill. Here we go.
Tearing it up. Reloading.
Let's check out over there. Reloading. Go faster. The enemies are reloading. Recharging shields. We've got trouble. Care package over there. Using grapple. Reloading. Zipline deployed.
Drilling and drilling.
Jump pad out. Reloading.
Round 2.
Being shot at. Tearing it up.
Reloading.
Replicator being delivered.
Replicators coming in.
Look out!
Open wide. Here comes the drill.
Somebody behind me.
Enemies right here. Charging on my team. Reloading.
We gotta go, dude.
Granddaddy, shield.
Took out an enemy.
Rings are distant and closes in 60, cousin.
What the fuck?
The ring isn't very close. 45 seconds.
Enemy over there.
Someone on my left here. Someone on my left.
Your maps to see. Get ready. It's zipline time.
Oh, it was a bamboozle. It was a bamboozle. We're good.
It's go time.
Boys, they got half
First down. 10 seconds till ring close. Let's go, let's go, let's go. The ring's moving, friends. Grappling. Extended sniper mag here. Level 3.
Extra supplies here. Standard stock here. Level 2.
Yo, we should def check out that care package. Grenade, watch out.
Somebody's close. It's bamboozled again.
That's us. Firing! Aki, over here. Hit me.
You fellas know the drill. Enemy real close. We ain't letting them live, are we?
Care package over there.
Being shot at. The next shield.
I am down.
What?
Reloaded.
Come on, compadre, get up. Come on, come on, come on.
I can't see him.
He's dead, babe.
Cracking enemy shield. Mira.
Where's the third?
I think you can res.
Come on, come on. Let's move this way. Come on, compadre, get up. Come on, come on, come on. Come Come on, compadre, get up. Come on, come on, come on.
Fuck, you gotta go. Oh no. Heal. You're dead. Yeah. What you doing, bro?
Come on, compadre, get up. Come on, come on, come on.
Attention. Lupins have been recalled.
Un momento, healing. Setting up a zip line.
Healing up.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? This guy is such a pussy. He hasn't shot his fucking gun once.
Can't believe I'm standing still.
Down, finish, thirst the path. Who's walking away?
Repairing.
Over here.
Let's go over there.
Healing up. Not a bit average, eh?
The ring isn't very close. 45 seconds. Reloading. I'm repairing myself. They're not getting back up from that.
Jump pipe. Healing. I don't mind. Everything is cut pipe.
I am repairing myself.
On me. Finally, fucking pussy, dude.
They're not getting back up from that. Good job.
Sorry, let me give up this helmet.
Helmet here. Level 4. I can see that the ring's moving on the map.
Care package on its way. Sweet as.
Let's move that way. Eyes on the new kill leader. Yep.
I got cells galore if you need them.
Got a rotten bloody egg over there.
Setting up a supply.
Fuck. I think I just died, maybe? No, I'm good. Sheesh.
Gotta use a Phoenix kit.
Healing. I don't mind. Everything is cut pipe.
Getting health back.
Recharging my shields, Guzzy.
Let's go here. They're dropping a replicator.
People there too.
Firing. Zipline time.
Crack Addict shield. Things near coming. Got a minute before she closes. Reload it.
Squad is attacking us. Grenade! Must go faster. Gotta use a Phoenix key. More friends are coming to kill us. There's another squad. Reloading.
Being shot at. Here's a sec. Recharging my shield.
Giving my shield to recharge.
They're really low.
Reloading.
Ring's there. Closing in 10. Gonna drop
They're shooting at me. Broke that enemy shield. Recharging shield. Ring's closing. I like pushing limits as much as they charging on my shields.
No one hides from my drill.
Evo harvester here.
Chucking a frag.
Reloading.
Dude, they have to be running out of heals.
That end shield is cracked. Reload it.
Reloading. Let's go here.
Oh fuck.
Amigos, let's go here. Hit the ejector seat.
Oh!
Another squad. Cracked an enemy shield. Charging on my shields. Take a leg. We've only got a minute and the ring is right there. Firing. Arc star out. Charging on my shields. Hostile spotted.
Really low right here. Can we push this team? Oh, knock, knock, knock! I almost knocked the Octane. Come on, come on, come on! Nice! One more, it's just Newcastle. Nice, good shit, boys. Oh no. I'm just dead. Holy fuck. Get back down if you can. Path. What the fuck, man? The one guy with the fucking Spider-Man ability gets up there last. No, Pat. No. I'm screwed.
Reloading.
If being shot at.
It's go time. Close, amigos. Don't make me carry you. Charging up my shields. 30 seconds till ring close. Getting health back. Seconds, gotta move. One, got it back. It's a race to the beacon. Final ring.
GG. Sheesh. What?
Are studios and publishers just dumb? So, let me look and see. So I've always thought that money dictates everything. However, looking at game studios and publishers recently, I'm questioning whether this is true anymore. So many AAA games come out pushing their political views, usually left-leaning. That's not true. They're always left-leaning. And gamers, time and time again, speak with their wallets, and these games flop hard, costing hundreds of millions of dollars for the studios and the publishers. Logic would dictate that money at the top, people would say this isn't okay, you need to change and give players what they want. But that's the thing, they don't. At what point are studio heads going to wake up, get rid of they, them psychos, who somehow got into positions of running studios, making key decisions, and start delivering games that make bank? So I'll tell you when. This happened kind of recently. So basically what it was is that there was a storyline that Disney had for one of their new movies, and it was like a trans situation, right? And basically, Disney decided to take it out. They got rid of the trans storyline, and from the upcoming Pixar Win or Lose, yeah.
Disney is stirring controversy after deciding to edit out a transgender storyline from its animated series called Win or Lose. This series follows a middle school co-ed softball team in the lead up to a big game. The transgender character will remain in the show, but Disney has decided to remove several lines of dialogue that reference the character's gender identity. The company said it wants to allow
because the reason why is because it's very obvious that average people don't want to hear about transgender ideology being pushed on underage people. This is very obviously the majority opinion. Everybody can see this. The only people that can't see this are the people that are intentionally trying not to find it.
Parents to discuss those topics with their children. The series is produced by Emeryville-based Pixar, a division of Disney.
They say Dixar?
And it's set to begin streaming in February. For more perspective, we're joined here this afternoon live by Dr. Sean Fletcher, a professor of public relations and sport communication at San Jose State University. Professor, it's good to see you. We appreciate the time. So let's start off with the overarching question here. What do you think prompted Disney to remove this dialogue about the transgender
what
teenager's
could possibly
gender
be
identity?
the reason?
Well, I think that it would be hard to overlook the potential political undertones of this situation because
being trans is absolutely a political issue. It 100% is. And even if you think it isn't fundamentally, it's been made into one. Conservatives don't like trans, liberals like trans. That's it.
When it moves through production, I'm surprised that it moved this far in the process of production to where somehow, some way, someone had an awakening and decided to make this alteration in the script so late into production.
It's because people switched up on this really fast. That's the reason why. It's like, I mean, I'm not the only person that's seeing this shit, right? Like, people switching up on this real quick. And I think they're going to keep going. Trump won is why? I think they're right. I mean, that probably is a big factor.
It seems to me from Bob Iger's Disney's lead that to do an about face, feeling as though they don't want to move into politics is very different than what Disney and many of its subsidiaries have put out there in the animated space. So
that's because they never cared about it in the first place. They care about politics as a advertising tool. If it was popular to advertise being racist, they would advertise being racist.
What up?
A good example of that is
Yo,
Disney.
what's brackin'?
Literally them.
What's
You online?
I'm.
Yeah, wow.
To me, that
they already did.
I am, but I don't know for how long. I was planning on going on Ubering for a little bit after I'm done eating here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be on Apex for a little while.
Gotta pick my girl up in like about an hour and a half. So after that, though, I'll be back.
All right, man. What game?
Real professional
Just let me know.
For sure. Later.
We're talking about the whole thing. Oh yeah. It's not just like some kind of, oh well, it's a joke or something like that. They're going whole hog. Yep, whole hog on it.
Gender issues in society.
And what do you think Disney is worried about here? I mean, on the one hand, like you say, obviously this was approved at some point, and this was green lighted, and now a few years later, you have Disney clearly worried potentially about a backlash.
Absolutely.
That's exactly it, because it got changed. People changed their opinion. That's why. That's why you never use social issues to talk about things, like to advertise. Is because eventually people, like, things turn around and they change, and then people hate you for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the
and
meta
again,
changed.
Bob Iger,
Exactly.
in fairness, is the twice chairman of Disney now, and his predecessor, and they mentioned in the statement, when the very popular Lightyear series had a same-sex kiss, and many issues dealing with the LGBTQ plus community were spotlighted in some of these other animated films that they have put out. Now Bob Iger is on the scene in a very different social climate.
Well, here's the big difference, though, right? Is like in Lightyear, what I remember, this I could be wrong, but this was 2 adults, right? So like one of them, it's like also, I think that average people get being gay. Average people don't get being trans. That's the truth. And so when you're talking about like if like gay is like a 2 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10 for those people, trans is like a 9. So like, number one, it's a much harder thing to sell people. Number two, it's adults versus kids. Totally different situation. And also, even with that, a lot of people said, I'm not going to take my kid to see this. I don't want to take my kid to see some stuff about like gay people. I don't want to be part of this messaging. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to hear about it. Get it out. And I saw so many posts about this whenever this movie came out. And I bet it probably did affect the sales. At least enough. As a gay guy, there are no issues. Please stop talking about us. We just needed marriage rights. That's all. Bro, like, everybody that's normal knows that. Really, everybody knows this. Like, look, nobody's blaming you because some weirdo is like trying to like push something on kids. Like, everybody knows it's not your fault. Like, let's be real.
Now it feels as though he wants to move away from challenging some of the societal ills and some of the issues that we still struggle.
No. He was saying, he said, what he was saying is he didn't like, what he was trying to communicate, I think, is that he didn't like how these different companies use his identity as a advertisement tool. That's it. He wasn't saying like he said he didn't like being used as an advertising tool. Like, that was, I think, what he was trying to get at. I don't think he was meaning that at me. What an idiot. Why, whoever say that? No, I mean, but like, as a gay, like, I could see, like, as a gay person, how this probably, I think that the amount of companies that do a lot of social messaging about like the gay issue or like trans issues or whatever, I do think that they have been a tremendous net negative for the movements themselves. Like, looking back on it and like thinking back on how things were in like 2016, 2014, 2010, I think that they have massively negatively impacted it. Like the Bud Light stuff, etc. Yeah, what the fuck? No, you don't think so? I do think so. And the reason why is that I think like the idea of giving people equal rights and giving people like the privilege to be able to express themselves and love who they want, be who they want to be. I think this is a pure ideal. And what a company does when they come in and they co-opt that ideal is, it's like, imagine you have like a clear glass of water and then you put 2 or 3 drops of food coloring in it. And that food coloring is Disney's anti-Semitism. It's Disney's long-standing issues that they've had with animators. And so you take a company that's had its own baggage, its own problems, and then it basically attaches itself onto a social issue like a parasite. And it is a parasite because it siphons out the goodwill and the lifeblood from this social issue to benefit itself, while contributing nothing in any sort of material way towards the social issue. So they're actually hurting the social issues. They're making them worse. And I think that a lot of people that are gay, they see that. And they're like, this is not good. This is making things worse. I think that's what's happened. Again, this is my assessment of it. People are going to disagree, sure. But this is what I think.
And now it feels as though he wants to
People get radicalized
move
because of
away
preaching? Yeah.
from challenging some of the societal ills and some of the issues that we still struggle to come to terms with as a society, but also as parents, as we're leading our children through society right now. It feels as though he wants to now move things a bit back to center and now all of a sudden just become based on entertainment, which that has not been their brand up until now.
All right, speaking of Disney's explanation, the company did say in a statement that when it comes to animated content for a younger audience, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own terms and timeline. What's wrong with this notion that Disney just is saying they want to allow?
They're completely right. And I think this is a good idea. Like, the way that I've always looked at it is that the reason why it's important to let parents teach their kids this and teach kids this way after they learn about sexual education, it's the same reason why you learn about addition and subtraction before you learn about multiplication and division. It's because these are more complex concepts that require a foundation of knowledge. So if you give people the knowledge without giving them the foundation to contextualize that knowledge with, I think that it can fuck people's heads up. Yeah, it confuses children. It does. There's a process in doing it. Like, this is, like, I actually do think that at a certain point, people should be educated that there are people that believe that they're transgender. They should be educated that there are people who are intersex. They should be educated that there are people who are gay. Because I think that, again, school is to prepare a person for the real world. And this is in the real world, and it's educational, right? I'm not saying, like, you know, circle this box if you think you're trans. I'm saying to explain that this is something that some people deal with, right? Of course. Just as from an educational perspective.
Parents the ability to have these conversations with their kids on their own terms.
Is that the reason they removed it? It is indirectly. So the reason they removed it is because of the conclusion of the logic that I just used, because that's the way many parents feel.
That's absolutely fair. And if that is your creative and production edict, then again, I go back to what I said earlier. How does it move this far into the production process? How does it get greenlit to this extent to where you have a transgender voice actress, Chanel Stewart, being told so late in the production process, almost on the eve of it airing? It feels as though something else entered into this administrative management dialogue that moved them away from it. But it is absolutely, in fairness, that is a fair line to draw in terms of how cinema and how Hollywood plays their role in pushing issues that society has struggled to come to terms with. But again, you move very late into the process that peaked.
The reason why I think it happened really late into the process is that addressing these issues systematically inside of a company probably has a negative chilling effect for anybody who goes against them. So the problem is that people like this, they like to hyperfixate on issues like this, and in the process of hyperfixating on issues like this, they will, like, you don't want to be the guy in the office who says, let's take out the transgender scene, because the people that wanted to put it in are going to call you a transphobe and complain to HR and try to get you fired. So the reason is that it's very hard to root this stuff out of different spaces because of how dangerous it can be for a person's career. And that's the reason why you're talking about toxic positivity. Well, what I'm talking about is, like, the types of people that try to really push this. Not all of them, of course, but there's enough of them to where nobody wants to be labeled that ism or that phobe that is going to cause them to lose a promotion or get fired. or get alienated from the office culture even. So that's why they're afraid of it, and that's why they don't talk about it. And that's how these issues keep going and they keep happening. It's because they only really get stopped whenever they get to the very, very high executive level, because those people don't give a fuck. But you have to get really, really high up there.
My curiosity
That's what
as
happens.
to
That's toxic
what
workspace, though.
potentially
I'm
may
just
be
telling you
an
what happened.
underlying issue that you're trying to deal with.
All right, we appreciate your perspective always. Dr. Sean Fletcher, San Jose State University.
Yep, there you go.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, and like, I mean, you can also look at, yeah, I think the dialogue had to be cut to do some references that are way too adult for a family-friendly show. Yeah, exactly. And so I think this is really what happens with, yeah, this is Disney, right? And this is why it happens. It happens because of that chilling effect and how it affects everybody else that's around it. And like when they see it negatively affect them, they think to themselves, well, fuck that. I'm not going to do this anymore, right? I'm not going to take this risk. I'm not going to put myself in this position. And I think that's a smart thing to do in a lot of cases. Yeah, no one wants to be a martyr. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, nobody wants to, like, because the thing is that a lot of people, this is one of the big problems, is that a lot of people who end up getting fired for something like this, their life is materially worse after it happens. So it's not like, you know, like what's Gina Carano doing nowadays? Not really a whole lot. And so people look at it and they see kind of what happens to other people and they don't want that to happen to them. They hire cheap workers too? Yeah, exactly. She works for Daily Wire? Exactly. Yeah, you get blacklisted. And so she's suing Disney? Yeah, but who knows if she's going to win or not. I'm assuming she's not going to. I highly doubt that she will win. But anyway, so that's the reason why they're quote dumb. It's because there's a chilling effect inside of the studios to not push back or criticize or even ask questions about this.
So strongly against this crazy, radical,
console players don't know what FPS is. True.
And the way he has been rewarded by the general public shows that conservatives need to get up off their butts and stop whining about always losing every fight, because they don't have to lose. We can actually win fights. And this proves if we're on the side of truth, if we're on the side of reality and common sense, we will win.
Yeah, and we
you will. She's right, 100% right about that. Yeah, she's 100% right. Absolutely truth. Yeah, it's the truth. Yeah, absolutely, it's the truth. It's not even a question. Like, you ask people about the things that Trump is saying, you're going to get 80-90% of people saying, yeah. That's it.
Saw that in the US, didn't we, Joe? With the election results, the pendulum really swung, and people really rejected all this woke nonsense.
Yeah, and it's not just the right; it's not just conservatives as well. So there is just a huge number of people in the Labor Party who were thinking the exact same thing, but basically thought that they were the only ones thinking it, and were scared to say anything in case they were cancelled or pilloried.
That's exactly right. Like, I had a friend of mine, he and I remember we drove home from community college to watch Obama's inauguration together. We sat in my downstairs room and we watched it on my big, CRT television. And we watched him become the president of the United States. And he was telling me about how, like, he thinks, like, yeah, it's like things are way too far. Way, way, way too far. So, and like, this is us. We were celebrating that.
Now, and again, Chris Minns is the embodiment of the sensible centrist Labor Party, and he's done some fantastic things for trans people and the LGBTQ community. Done things that, if anyone else did them, would be seen to be right. He's done it from a really sort of calm and careful and considered sort of sensible position. And I think that is the problem here has not necessarily been the issues themselves, but it's been the activists behind them. And it's been like what Freya said, where you have these people who care more about the sound of their own voices than they do about actually achieving outcomes. Or indeed,
I think that the activist people just don't like them. They talk down to average people. They are insulting. They're usually very privileged. And because they're extremely privileged, a lot of them telling other people that they're privileged falls on deaf ears. And I think that creates a lot of resentment. That's a big reason why. And I think with a lot of them also, there's like massive hypocrisies. Yeah, activists or narcissists. Well, I wouldn't say that like they all are, but a good number of them are, and enough of them are for it to be a stereotype, and for it to put people off.
The vulnerable people who they might be pretending to represent, but where they just want an issue to fight for. They want to be on the forefront of something. They look around, you know, oh, we've got marriage equality for gay people. Oh, what's next? Trans. So now you have to accept that trans women are women, and if you don't say that, absolutely, and
hypocrisy is what pisses people off. Yeah,
absolutely, all the time, no matter what. Then you're transphobic, you're a bigot, and you have to be cancelled. And they get sort of ahead of these arguments, and then they try to brainwash people and say, if you don't support everything we say, this new orthodoxy that we've spelt out, if you don't support all of it, then you're a bigot and you're on the wrong side of history. And
people do that with me. Like, I've had this happen with me. Is like people have said that I am like a racist, or I hate women, or I'm transphobic, or something like that. They say this shit with me all the time. That's it. Yeah, they do it with everyone. Exactly, right? And so that's it. Nobody cares. Yeah, no, I mean, I think that the cancel gets abused. It doesn't mean shit anymore. Well, the reason why it doesn't mean shit is because people don't want it to. And it's because it did. Like back in, like for years, people would get deplatformed and they would get banned. And if somebody had like an opinion about something that was problematic, they would get in a lot of trouble for that and people would hate them. Yeah. And so like, that's the reason why. It's because, it's because people started fighting back. Exactly. Thank God.
It's just progress. And so conservatives think, oh, gee, that's progress. That's what I don't want to, end up looking like, a white supremacist during slavery or whatever. I better just do whatever they say. And of course, if you are seen to cross them and they do pile on, as we will see later on the show, then it is just absolutely brutal and it's ferocious. And people who would otherwise be...
Why people care what strangers said on Twitter? The reason why is that the strangers would go to the person's job and harass their family. And so like somebody would have like a bad take on like social media, and then they would dox the person and then try to ruin their life systematically. And so I think that people can see that there's like a form of unfairness there. Like it's a scare tactic. Yeah, it is. It's a scare tactic. Then stop having bad takes. Well, the thing is that like if you say that and it's like, okay, well then just don't say the thing that they don't want. Well, then they're going to turn around and do that to you. And that's what happened. Like, you remember after the Trump assassination, and a lot of conservatives got together and ruined a bunch of people's lives over that. And I think that that's kind of that's the same thing, really. And so, yeah, it'll never be enough. No. Well, like, if you create a weapon, people are going to use the weapon against you. And I think that's what happened. Does it happen often? It happens enough for people to be worried about it. So I think that, like, do you remember so this is a good way to look at it. Do you remember the whole thing about, like, would you rather be in a abandoned forest with a man or a bear? And, like, women saying that they'd rather be in a forest with a bear? Well, that's a clearly illogical perspective to have, right? And it's an emotional perspective. Like, any logical person that thinks about this would know that this is retarded. But people think that because of their fear, right? They're afraid. And the male version of that is thinking that anytime that you try to message a girl or interact with a girl, you're going to get in trouble for sexual harassment. Like, these are two sides of the same coin. And I think that in a lot of cases, you have people that it doesn't have to happen all of the time in order for people to be fucking freaking out about it. Another example is fentanyl. So you guys ever seen like how they have like fentanyl, like Narcan and like things to like stop fentanyl overdosing in like CVS now? And people would be talking about this? Right? Yeah. How many times do you think people really are overdosing on fentanyl randomly? Basically fucking never. Almost fucking never that happens. But the worry of it is so precise in their mind that they want to make sure that they're safe. Wrong all the time. In LA, it's daily, bro. How many people are in LA? Happens a lot every day? No. I mean, if you're a crackhead, yeah, sure, you can overdose on fentanyl. Maybe that's what happens. Bad take, bro. They don't think they're taking fent. No, there's people that think that they're going to get injected with needles randomly with fentanyl because it happened at a couple of concerts. That's it. That's the reason it. And so anyway, people think this. Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like, this is what goes on in people's heads. Now, everybody thinks that I'm crazy, but I want to tell you, I've been right about every fucking one of these things. I know how people think. And the reason why I think I know what people think is I think of the stupidest thing possible. That's what people think. That's what it is. You're absolutely wrong? Yeah, just like I've been wrong about everything else. Anyway, so yeah, it's true. The threat of getting canceled, the threat and the worry in the back of the mind, that's what's dangerous. And when people see it can happen to somebody else, they think that it can happen to them. Not informed enough about this? Look up the numbers, bro. Of what? Average people that are getting injected without their consent for fentanyl? There's probably double-digit, if not single-digit numbers. Fractional. Tiny. In a country of hundreds of millions of people. So yeah, that's the stupidest thing. Yeah, exactly. And so anyway, it doesn't have to be injected. There's people randomly selling you fentanyl. So anyway, it is not right. It's fake pills, for sure. Your take is disrespectful and delusional. All right, we're going to pull it up. Fentanyl overdoses per year. What is this here? 77,000 people have overdosed on fentanyl. So how many of these people? So let's just be logical here, right? Let's just be logical. And so in 1 year, right? So that's a shit one? Nah, but a lot of these people right here are people that are overdosing drug deaths. Yeah, a lot of people, synthetic opioids, methadone. You are not counting the people that are doing fentanyl on purpose. These are people who have also done fentanyl as well. Tyler supports what you're saying. Latest video in Philly. Yeah, they don't get it. Yeah, exactly. No one is? You think people don't do fentanyl? Man, I don't know. Why are people so retarded nowadays? It's so sad. 77,000 people get killed by this, and you think every single one of them did it on accident. How can you be so stupid? What are the probabilities there? How many people are in the United States? Let's go ahead and do a calculation. Let's go ahead. We'll do a little bit of a calculation. It's like 360 million, right? So let's divide this by 100. So what's 1% of that? 3.6 million people. Okay? So let's divide that by 100. 36,000. So you are 0.02% likely to have this happen. And it's in every store. That's my point. And that is the most generous. Oh, yeah, 0.02. I think that it was assumed, but yes, 0.02. That's being generous. Something does not have to be a high probability for it to weigh on people's minds. How many people are worried about shark attacks? How many shark attacks are there? Let's go ahead. Let's look at shark attacks. How many people get attacked by sharks in the U.S. each year? 16. 36 maybe. But we have Shark Week. Or plane crashes. That's another one. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you, like, this is clickbait, honestly. It is. I understand that people might immediately disagree with what I'm saying, but there is truth to it. And I can apply this logic to 100 different situations and get the exact same result. And that's the truth. And so you can look at seatbelts, fucking car accidents, or not car accidents are the dangerous one. Plane accidents. You can look at shark bites. You can look at the fentanyl getting injected with needles. You can get, getting abducted, getting kidnapped. Here's another one. How many of you guys had your parents worried because when you were a kid, they thought they would put razor blades in your fucking Halloween candy? How many more examples do I need before people can acknowledge the common reality? How many more? How long do we have to do this? To accept this as a reality. Guys, I'm right. Yeah, I'm right about this shit. Like, it's true. I can give you more and more and more examples. That's it. So yes, this happened twice. Yes, they're eating the cats and dogs. Recent one. Anthrax in your mail. Recent one. Yep, there it is. And so anyway, let's move on. My point is, what a waste of time tangent to try to prove common sense to people that like to live in a delusion. The numbers are what they are. Anyway, it doesn't have to happen to a lot of people for a lot of people to be worried about it happening. That's my point.
Sympathetic to a lot of these issues, and certainly a lot of the people who are suffering as a result, just go, well, no, screw you all. If you're just going to run around marauding people, abusing them, telling people, trying to come for people's jobs or whatever it is, just because they don't agree with the last thing that you've said everyone has to agree with, and I'm just going to be opposed to whatever it is you say, no matter what, because that is what you're doing to everyone else.
But that's the thing, it's different from, if you're conservative and standing up for your values and what you believe in, you don't have to be labelled a white supremacist, a Nazi, all these horrible things.
People call me a white supremacist and a Nazi all the time. That's right. And this is the issue, is that and now this is the big problem. Nazis and Adolf is coming back in a big way. And it's the boy who cried wolf. Nobody's taking it seriously. I see these posts all the time, talking about oh, wow, the Holocaust, it wasn't 6 million, or, oh, well, why didn't they let us look at his speeches with it being in English? I've been seeing a lot of this. A whole lot. But nobody's taking it seriously because people have been too busy calling other people Nazis for being against illegal immigration. That's what's happening.
That's right. Exactly. The idea of calling Donald Trump a Nazi is...
It's outrageous.
And we heard that on
the person that is most insulting to is not Donald Trump. It is all the actual victims of Nazism.
Yeah.
And of course, the Jewish community would laugh their ass off at you because to them, Donald Trump is the savior who's delivered the best result for Israel in his presidency than any of the other presidents could deliver. But again, it just shows that anyone... it's that ridiculous extremist ideological thinking where if you don't agree with everything I say, you're a bigot, you're a fascist, you're a Nazi, and there's no shades of people who disagree.
I think the key problem that the left will always run into is that what is progress? And if you blindly pursue progress as the virtue in and of itself, you're actually not bound to any underlying values. There's no guiding philosophy other than the fact that we need to move forward, regardless of...
I think that the people don't have a guiding philosophy. They usually just pick up different social causes so they can make themselves feel better about themselves. I think that's the case with most social causes, is that the majority of people do them for social reasons and they don't actually do them because they care about them. That's the primary reason. I have an 18-year-old that works with me. He actually idolizes the views of Adolf. He says he was a genius, really